Good news, Jets fans. Breece Hall looks like he's ahead of schedule in his ACL recovery. Let's go. Hey guys, what's going on? Matt O'Leary back with another video. Today we're getting into Breece Hall and how I thought he looks like he is ahead of schedule in his recovery of his ACL injury, the impact that could have on the New York Jets in 2023. Before we get started today, I wanted to mention you can follow on social media at Matt O'Leary NY. Also, if you haven't already, Just Jets podcast, new episode tomorrow, Wednesday. Hey, how about that? Subscribe wherever you get to the show. Today's video is brought to you by Manscaped. Shout out Manscaped. They are now selling beard products. That's right. They are once again revolutionizing men's grooming, this time with the brand new Beard Hedger. From a beard trim to a fresh shave, the technology behind the Beard Hedger allows you to shape your signature beard look. Now you can finally use Manscaped's product to make your drapes match your carpet. That's always good. Go to manscaped.com and use my code JETS20, JETS20 for 20% off and free shipping. Pick yourself up something nice over at Manscaped. Okay, so why am I so pumped up about Breece Hall? Well, Breece shared a video to his Instagram that showed him running on an anti-gravity treadmill. Let's check it out. So what does this do? Why is running on an anti-gravity treadmill interesting? So essentially with the anti-gravity, it could reduce your body weight, which obviously makes it a little bit easier to run on an injured knee or a knee that is in the recovery process. But considering that he just had surgery in November, it's really not that far out. He's a little over 2 months from the surgery. So it feels like he is ahead of schedule at this point for where ACL injuries are usually, or guys who have ACL injuries are usually at in their recovery process. Usually somewhere between 6 to 9 months feels like the recovery time on these things. So if he has the surgery in November, then August would be the 9-month part. So I would imagine that at some point during training camp, they could start to bring him back slowly. Don't expect to see much of him in training camp or the preseason. One, he's a running back and you just don't necessarily need to give him reps in the preseason games. It's not really, that doesn't seem productive. Like it seems counterproductive, especially coming off of an injury. So I would expect them to bring him on slowly in 2023. But I think most people expected him to kind of, I don't know if struggle is the right word. No, I would say no, it's not the right word. Struggle is not the right word. But I think his usage would be lower within the first month or so of the NFL season before he finally, turns it on down the stretch and starts to look like the Breece Hall that we knew and loved the last year in the 7 games that he played. But with his recovery looking a little bit quicker, maybe it's not as much of a slow start. Maybe he isn't splitting carries into October, and it's just the first few weeks of the year where he's really splitting the carries. And luckily, the good news about this for the Jets in 2023 is they have incredible running back depth. You have Breece Hall, obviously, Michael Carter, Bam Knight, maybe James Robinson. I'm not sold on that. I think James Robinson ends up somewhere else. But can you get by with Michael Carter and Bam Knight in the short term while Breece Hall is coming on slowly for the first few weeks of the year? Yeah, I think so. Absolutely. Now, Michael Carter was actually really bad for the Jets this year. Like there's no word around it. There's no easy way around it. He was just bad for this Jets team. And I think a part of it had to do with injuries. I think he was playing through most of the year hurt. There's really no explanation for him to fall off the way that he did last year going into this year. Bam Knight was really solid, though. That was a really nice surprise to find him as an undrafted free agent. I thought he was extremely productive and someone that you want to keep around. So, again, that three-headed monster in 2023 is going to help whoever is starting quarterback for the Jets, whether it's Derek Carr, Jimmy G, Aaron Rodgers, go right down the line. Whoever it is starting for the New York Jets at the quarterback position is going to have their life a little bit easier because of their running back room. And specifically, Breece Hall is going to have his life a little bit easier because he doesn't have to be the focal point right away, instantly, from day one, week one. You don't have to run him 20 times. If you remember last year, he had single-digit carries the first 3 weeks of the year, and then they got him moving and grooving, and he ended up putting up really good numbers in the 7 games that he played. So overall, in the 7 games last year as a rookie, reminder, he was on his way to being the offensive rookie of the year, 463 yards, 4 rushing touchdowns, 5.8 yards per attempt. He was on an absolute heater. But specifically, if you just want to isolate the 4 games where he really came on strong before going down to injury, 59 carries, 351 yards, 4 touchdowns. That's a pace of 1,492 yards and 17 touchdowns. So he was pacing out for essentially a 1,500-yard rusher and a touchdown per game. Do I think that's going to happen in 2023? No, I think that's a little too optimistic for him. But can he be an 1,000-yard guy and close to 10 touchdowns? Absolutely. I think that's maybe even on the conservative side. If he continues to trend in the right direction, maybe that number is looking a little closer to 1,200 yards and double-digit touchdowns. But even if you want to bring him on slowly and he just creeps over 1,000 yards and is hanging around 8, 9, 10 rushing touchdowns, considering what the Jets are also going to be able to do with their other backs, I think that's fine. And honestly, I think something that I would expect to see a lot of, especially with Nathaniel Hackett as the offensive coordinator now, they are going to get the running backs involved in the passing attack, which is perfect for Breece Hall and Michael Carter. I think both can, and Bam Knight even, throw him in the mix. All 3 of those guys are capable receivers out of the backfield and could be mismatch nightmares. We see all the time where these teams, they're lining up their running backs to get on the outside to get mismatches. We saw Christian McCaffrey do it. And I think Breece Hall can be just that for this team, a matchup nightmare and an absolute weapon when utilized properly. And it's great to see that the Jets' weapon is trending in the right direction and trending in that direction rather quickly to get back and to have an impact in 2023. Let me know your thoughts on Breece Hall down below in the comments. What do you hope to see from him in 2023? Are you happy about his quick recovery? I am. Sound off. I'm Matt O'Leary. Subscribe if you're new. Give the video a like before you head out, and I'll talk to you next time.